Yo, what's up? What's happening, people? And welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB Pro, Matt Butale. And today, what we're going to be doing is talking about restaurant food menus. And I'm going to be walking you through their lack of accuracy so that you guys can stop fucking relying on them whenever you go out and then wonder why, I've been eating clean, I've been, respecting my macros, so on and so forth, but I'm still not making progress. Just give me a second. I'm going to close the window here. It's a little bit noisy and I don't want to have all this noise. All right, 1 second. All right, people. All right. So that's what we're going to be breaking down today. What's up, bro? If you are new here, you're more than welcome. I just want to remind you, you're more than welcome to say how your day is going. Let me know what's good. And at the end, if I have time, I will try my very best to answer as many questions as possible. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is talking about the restaurant menus. And restaurants, honestly, they don't care about your fitness progress. And it's not a bad thing that they don't care, because they're there to make money, not help you lose weight, right? That's why I'm here. I help you lose weight. I care. But when I say they don't care, it's mainly because I'm talking about the fact that when they're putting those macros or their calories on that spreadsheet, on their menu, on their billboards, whatever it is, it's not accurate enough for you to actually factor in. That's the point of today's episode. The restaurants don't accurately depict how many calories, or how much protein, how many carbs or fats and all that you're really getting. So you should stop relying on them so heavily when you do go out. That's the main core of today's episode. All right, so as you join, let me know how your day is going. Asil, what's good? Ramon, what's up? Bless up. I see you, dog. I see you, people. Just don't be sitting ducks. Let me know how your day is going. Say what's good, say what's up. Right, we're going to chat a little bit before we dive into the podcast recording. And when we do get into the podcast recording, I want you guys to understand that we will be getting a clean soundbite for those listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So when you ask your questions, I won't be answering them until the very end of today's episode. All right. TikTok, what's good? He says, keep it up. I appreciate you. Sobi says, first gift. Wait, what's good? I see you, homie. I see you guys. I appreciate you for just being, positive. I can't hit the gritty right now. I'm sitting down, bro. All right. But I appreciate you guys. All right. So I'm going to be diving into today's podcast episode talking about restaurant menus and how those calories are inaccurate. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your returning champion, IFBB Pro, Matt Butale, and today we're going to be coming at you with another topic. Today I'll be breaking down the fact that studies have shown countless times restaurant menus are about 20% to 200% inaccurate when it comes to their calorie listings, their macro listings, on their menus, on their billboards, when you're ordering your food, and how the lack of knowledge surrounding that fact is one of the main reasons why you can't lose weight when you eat clean throughout the entire week, but you decide to go out on the weekends. Okay, even if you're creating this quote unquote caloric space, meaning that you're burning enough calories, you are following what you need to follow in the week, and you are creating enough space, quote unquote, for you to eat out and still be succeeding with your fitness journey, but it doesn't work out that way. It's not that linear, and today we're going to be breaking that down, okay? So before we dive in, I want you to invite at least one person to this episode if you're watching this live, or if you're not, sharing this out to another friend that will benefit from this will help. All right, it's going to help me, it's going to help your friend, and it's going to help you because you're making a contribution to making the world a better place. All right, so let's start off with this. I got a question. It's kind of a rhetorical question because you can't answer me. All right. And the question is this: would you lend your keys to a 12-year-old? Okay. If you've got a car, all right, or something valuable, would you lend it to a 12-year-old? And 99% of you would say no. And it's a no-brainer, of course. Right. That's why it's a rhetorical question. You should know the answer. I hope you know the answer. All right. But the truth is, most people, even though they know that, they don't act on that. So essentially, you give your new car keys to a 12-year-old, or your prized possession to this 12-year-old, every single time you rely on the calories that are provided in a restaurant's menu. What does that mean? That means you hand over your progress, your future progress, your fitness progress, that goal that you want, that 30 pounds you want to lose, you hand that over, something so dear, sacred, and special, to a restaurant, someone is, they're immature, we'll put it in this way. They don't care. They're not really there for, they don't have to be responsible for your health, as weird as that sounds. Do you know what I mean? The same way a 12-year-old wouldn't be responsible for crashing your car. It's just not their fucking, do you know what I mean? It's not their problem, right? They're focusing on making money. They're focusing on making food desirable to people that want to go and eat there, right? That's their focus. It's not about keeping you healthy, okay? And you give your restaurant that type of power, that control, when you go and you rely on the restaurant's menu, okay? And like, hear me out. Eating the same few meals it can get fucking annoying, especially during your fat loss journey. I'm not gonna lie to you. It gets annoying. And I'm a professional bodybuilder. It still gets annoying from time to time. Okay. Like when the weekend creeps up, I get it. You feel like going out for drinks and wings with the boys, or like, ladies, you do your wine night or whatever the hell, your reading club. I don't know. I don't care. But you want to have some fucking fun with your family and friends. And I completely understand. Do you know what I mean? Like, I completely get it. I'm a human being as well. But you try to make space for those extra calories by eating fewer calories throughout the week or throughout the day, and doubling your cardio so that you don't, quote unquote, lose momentum and slow down the fat loss progress. But here's the problem. You don't know exactly how many calories are in that pizza you ordered, or in the wings that you just ordered, or that restaurant dish. Because the truth is, even the restaurant doesn't fucking know. And this is why I'm talking about comparing the 12-year-old, to the car keys, because it's not only is it not the responsibility, but they don't even know, man. Okay. And like, let's put it this way. I'm going to put it in perspective so you understand what I'm saying, that like, so you understand, like, they don't really know and they don't really care, but it's mostly because they don't know, right? Like, look, they always have different cooks and chefs who prepare these different meals, in different ways. Like, for example, one chef might use the microwave, whereas the other one might use the stovetop. The amount of water that's retained in whatever it is they're cooking is different. So the macronutrients, the calories, are going to be different. That's one thing you can consider. Or we can look at, different chefs and cooks using different portions in the back of the house. And I used to work in the back of the house. Shout out to the people that used to work at restaurants. I used to work at restaurants, right? And I know this. Like, there's almost no consistency in the back of the house, in the restaurant, when they're cooking. Like, it's pretty much how the chef does it. Like, you have a guideline, but the cook is going to do it as closest to the guideline as they can, right? And then people have certain twists, like they want more of this and less of that, and then that skews up the overall reading of what those calories are. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you are on a diet and you say, I want less sauce or no sauce, right? Then you automatically cannot refer to that caloric menu value as being accurate. I mean, you already couldn't, but now it's even worse because, it's less calories, but how less? Like, how much are you taking off of it with no sauce, right? Like, it's a guessing game the entire time is what I'm trying to say. And like, let's like look away from the fact that there might be different chefs cooking the meal, and that they prepare it in different ways. There's also simple human error, and I know this because I used to work in the back of the house, and like, some of you guys don't know, but chefs drop food, man. Some of y'all are eating some food that was dropped on the floor. I'm not saying that to scare you, but it's also true. But there's human error, right? Simple human error, and that can also contribute to the caloric value or macronutrient value of those foods in the restaurant not being up to par with the caloric value on the menus. And that's even if it's accurate. Say it is accurate, cool. Now there's simple human error, and it might be a little bit less accurate. Like, if you've ever meal prepped, think of how much of an effort you've got to put to get to that, 200 grams, or 300 grams, or 100 grams, not 99.5, not 103.6, but 100 grams, right? And do you really think the chef at the back of the house has a fucking scale and they're weighing in your food to make sure that they're hitting the exact calories? They don't fucking have the time. They don't care. It's not their responsibility. They got to make the food taste good and get it to you. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they do. And that's okay, because that's what you are signing up for when you go out and you eat. And that's what you're essentially committing to when you go out to eat. You're giving out somebody the keys to your future progress when it comes to your fitness journey, right? That's just what it is. All right. So you never actually know how many calories you're eating, even if they are accurate with even if that meal on the menu, that caloric intake, macronutrient intake, even if that's accurate, because of simple human error, you never actually even know how much you're eating because you're not there measuring the food. And they're certainly not because they don't have the time. Okay. And bottom line is the restaurant menu calories are not as accurate as you think. That's like the main point here today that I want you to understand, because I know it's really confusing. I know a lot of people are like, Matt, I swear to God, like I've been, and some of my clients too, they're like, I've been eating so sharp this whole entire time. How come I only lost a pound this week? Or how come I gained a pound this week? Or so on and so forth. Like, they'll eat clean 5 days a week, even 6 days, and then that one day they'll go out and it's just fucked. Right. And the reason why is because they eat more than they think they are on those days. And, it's, look at it, oils, you got, different types of ingredients or sauces that really spike up the calories. So you think that you're not eating a lot, but really those foods have a fuck ton of calories, whether they're empty or full of nutrients. There's a bunch of calories in there that you don't know about. And then when you consume them, it's like, oh, wow, my progress has gone to shit. Not really. You just kind of ate out and didn't know what you were eating because you just didn't make it. Like if you were to make it the exact same way they were to, and you were to measure everything, you'd realize, holy shit, this is a lot of calories. Okay. And it fucking sucks. I know it really sucks. Okay. Like relying on eating out every single weekend is basically handing your fitness progress over to a cook that doesn't care about your fat loss. I'm going to repeat that again. Okay. Relying on eating out every single weekend is basically handing out your fitness progress over to the cook or the chef that doesn't give a fuck about your fat loss. And it's okay they don't give a fuck because it's not their job. It's yours and your responsibility only. Like no matter how prepared you try to be, it will always in a certain way throw you off. It'll never be as accurate as you think it is. Okay, so my advice to you is I urge you to stop lending your new car keys to a fucking 12-year-old. Okay, it's very simple. How do you manage this? Instead of eating out every single week, reduce it to eating out maybe once or twice a month. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want you to like never go out again, because what kind of fucking life is that? Like I personally go out to eat, if I literally I do, and I sometimes order pizza or I have fun. Like I'm a human being and I want to eat this shit anyway. I don't care if it's not the best food for you. I'm a human and I get it. Like I want to eat some shit too, right? But I don't do it every weekend. The whole point is so even if the calories aren't as accurate, if you space it out and do it once a month or once every other week, it won't have that much of an impact because it's spread thin. The extra calories are spread thinner, which means that you're more likely to make the progress and head into the right direction. Okay? But if you're doing it every single week, there's no space for it to be spread thin. And even if you're in a slight calorie deficit, if you look at the net calories throughout the week, you might not be in that deficit anymore because of you eating out every single week and not knowing how many calories are in those things. Or even if you think you know, you really don't. So don't try to factor it in every single week. If you are looking to lose 30 pounds or more, 20 pounds or more, your priority shouldn't be handing over your fitness responsibility to a fucking restaurant every single week because you can't figure out how to meal prep or you can't figure out how to be disciplined and to eat clean foods that you prepare at home that you know the macro and nutrient value and the caloric value of. Like you should be able to be disciplined enough to say no to going out every single week, because going out every single week or every single day is how you got in that position in the first place. Right? So it sounds a little harsh to hear to eat out less, but it's literally part of the truth. I recommend not pushing it to, more than twice a month. And if you are really struggling, like if you are 30 pounds plus overweight, I wouldn't even eat out for the first 2 months, 3 months of dedicating myself to a fitness journey. Only after I lose 10 to 15 pounds in your position would I start to factor it in every single month. Okay? Or if you've got kids, twice a month. Seriously, because there's no need for you to do it. You just really want to. So that's something you got to control. Number 2, limit the variety of foods. Okay? Limit the variety of foods. And this is going to sound a little bit confusing, but you're going to understand it when you do it. Okay? So what I'm saying is the more food variety or food options you have, technically speaking, the slower your progress might be. And I know it's going to sound weird, but listen up. I've seen this with clients. I've done this myself. I've seen my peers do it, but like when you always try to switch up the foods that you're eating every single day that you're like preparing at home, it gets annoying because you don't really have a system. Like So, for example, certain foods take longer to cook than other foods. And if you're always switching that out, meal prepping is going to be, it's not going to be consistent. There's no fixed amount of time that you're going to be spending that you can control. That's like a variable as to like how many days a week I can do this, or how many times a month can I do this and not feel overwhelmed and stressed, because you're, always grocery shopping for different things. You're always trying to switch it out because you're bored of foods. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that shit, because it's really just going to throw you off. You're better off picking like a couple of proteins, like 2 to 3 proteins, 2 to 3 carbs, and your fat sources will trickle like along the way, or if anything, 1 to 2 fat sources you can pick, and marry those foods, man. Okay, yes, you can say it's going to get boring, but the reality behind that is just you're not being creative enough. You can definitely switch out the seasonings, which is, I would rather prefer switching seasonings than switching out the way that I prepare the meals, as opposed to like switching the meals altogether, because they have different cook times, different preparation methods, and that's just long. And it's hard to be consistent when there's so many fucking variables. Like, if you already struggle being consistent, measuring your own food and doing, your own thing like that, it's only going to get more difficult if you have different foods that are being factored in. It's just going to be more difficult. If you're like used to it and you're always like, you're eating healthy, you're always cooking clean, then it's not going to bother you as much. But if you are just starting out, please consider not doing that, because it's going to make it a drag. You're not really going to want to, eat clean, because it's going to feel like such a process every time. You're going to be like, oh, what am I going to eat today? What am I going to eat tomorrow? Because you just don't have a few selected food group that you're like married to. Like, you want to be able to stick to like a few proteins, a few carbs, a few fats, and then if anything it gets boring, switch up the seasonings, and then you're cool. That's all you really need. You don't need to have different gourmet meals every fucking day. It's just not going to help you. It's going to make you hate the process. And number 3, this ties into number 2, of course. Simplicity is key. Okay, guys, simplicity is key. You don't need 100 recipes for protein fucking pancakes or healthy meals. You don't need that shit. Okay, it's gonna make it more confusing. It's gonna make it more annoying. You're not gonna want to do it. Like, if I had to do that, I wouldn't even fucking do it. And I'm a pro bodybuilder. Like, I'd rather just have my few meals. If I get bored of them, I switch up the seasonings or switch up the way that I prepare them. So what does that mean? Instead of using the pressure cooker like I normally do for my chicken breasts, throw them on the grill. Instead of using the grill, throw them on the pan. Instead of throwing them on the pan, I'll go back to the pressure cooker and rotate that. Or you can stew your chicken, whatever the fuck it is. Keep the same foods, but if you get bored of them, just switch the way you prepare them, or switch the seasonings that you're eating them with. Because if you don't do that and you always like switch to like, oh, I want chicken, I want fish, I want beef, I want this, I want that. Do that if you can. Do that if it's manageable for you. But if it's not manageable for you, if it's something that stresses you out and makes you like annoyed and just thinking about meal prep, then that's a sign it's not going to work for you. All right. Simplicity is key. All right. I'm going to run through this again. The number one way to manage not eating out and trusting the restaurant with your fitness journey, the restaurant that doesn't care, is this. Number 1, instead of eating out weekly, reduce it to at least once or twice a month. Number 2, limit the variety of foods that you already prepare at home, so that meal prep is easier, it's more efficient, and you can be more consistent with it. Okay? The more food variety, the slower the progress. 3, simplicity is key. You don't need 100 recipes for protein pancakes and for healthy fucking meals. Stick to the ones that you like, stick to the seasonings that you enjoy, and if food gets boring, cool, switch the way that you prepare it, switch the seasonings instead of switching the foods. Also, another thing here is you want your body to get used to the foods that you're eating and digesting, so that your nutrient uptake can increase. And if your body isn't like optimizing to the foods that you're eating, you should switch the foods. That's the only time really I would recommend switching food, is if you have a gluten intolerance. You shouldn't be consuming foods with gluten. Or if your body isn't really good at metabolizing and digesting beef, stop eating it, right? Or chicken, or whatever it is, right? And again, the only really real way to find that out is to go to your doctor and do allergy testing and see what your body's rejects the most and what it doesn't. And don't you for one fucking second think that because I've been eating this food for so long, my body's used to it. You can lose tolerance to foods over time. So be vigilant. Go to the doctor, at least every 3 months, or if you don't have the fucking time, every 4 months, which is 3 times a year. You have the time, and do your allergy testing to see what foods your body responds the best to, and then factor them in, keep them in the loop. And the foods that your body isn't too good with, get them, just dash them to the side. That's the only time I'd switch foods, is if it gives you a problem, or if you're not able to fully digest it. Okay, that's it. Pick a few healthy home cooked meals that you really love and fucking marry them. All right. And the final question I have here to wrap it all up for you guys, of course, it's going to be another rhetorical one. Just how we started this episode is, what would you rather have? Okay, what would you rather have? Different meals every day for the rest of your life with slow to no results, or a few healthy meals that actually taste good because you prepare them the way you like them and your body is good at digesting them and they help you perform and get you to where you need to go with your physique and offer you permanent results? You let me know. Meals that you can go out, to get at the restaurant every day for no results, or a few healthy meals that taste good that give you permanent results. You let me know. All right. If you have me on Instagram, shoot me a message. If you have me on Threads, shoot me a message. Matt Butale, MATT space BUTALE. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Honestly, just Google Matt Butale. All my links are there. That's it. That's all. If you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Also, shout out to you for listening to this if you've stuck around this long. If you want to lose between 10 to 35 pounds and become a part of the Natural Nomad Academy with me, IFBB PRO Matt Butale, as your head coach, shoot me a message on any of the social media platforms and saying, I listened to episode 188 and I want to get a little bit of help. I want a little bit of knowledge. I want some information. How can you help me? Let me know. Feel free to DM me and I'll see if you'll be a good fit. Again, I don't work with everybody. Okay. Let's embrace your inner meathead together. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Boom. All right, bro. Podcast is recorded. Yo, Zach, what's up, my guy? He says, solid pod, straight facts. I just switch how I make it in seasonings. Dude, literally, man. You're a good man. You learned well. Hope you've been good, big bro. Yeah, I've been good, man. I see you, man. You're mugging the TL every now and again. Love that kid, bro. Zach, I hope you're doing good, man. I hope your shoulder's good. Hope health-wise you're doing okay. I know, it was a little bit rough earlier on last year and earlier on this year. So I hope that you're doing good, bro. I really do. I'm going to be reading some of the comments here. I know I saw some of my peers in the chats, but I was going on with the podcast, so I couldn't actually respond to them. Let's see here. And we're on Instagram. For those of you on TikTok wondering like who I'm talking to. All right, because that happens a lot where they're like, you have like one person here on TikTok, so like who are you talking to? But I'm on Instagram Live too. I'm on YouTube Live. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook. So questions are coming in from wherever people are. We'll say that. Asil, what's good? Yo, day is going all right. I like to hear that. Yo. Yeah, what's good, Cole? I see you, man. He says, good analogy. Carnivore path. What's good? Migley, what's good for joining? Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate you for joining. So he says again, Corey says, most don't realize that they can put muscle on without gaining fat too. They both go hand in hand. That's a good point. Or at least minimizing the fat as you put on muscle. I agree. Justin may be discouraging for some, but it's how the body works. Can't have lean without the fat. Yeah, love you, bro. Love you too, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Corey says, gotta run, brother. Have a pleasant day. I hope you do as well, chap. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have an amazing fucking day, bro. Yo, Tala, what's good, man? What's good? Thanks for tuning in. Iron Energy Gym. Shout out to Iron Energy Gym, the best gym on the west coast of Canada. Shout out to y'all. Like to have you here. Zach, what's good? He says, my shoulders are great. I'm back into repping a full stack on every machine and tossing around 315 bench. This guy got ridiculously strong in such a short period of time. So I got a question here from Mr. H. Sadu1. Says, help me to lose belly and face fat, bro. Definitely, I know you're not here right now, but could have shot me a message. Don't worry, I'll shoot you a message. I'll help you out there and help you however I can, but I'm going to need some information from you to see if I can even help you at first. All right, let's look at TikTok here and see what's up. I see you, Sterling. Thanks. Sterling says, keep on keeping on, brother. Absolutely, bro. Emmy says, yes, I appreciate you. Cheese says, eat less and make your own food. Totally agreed, bro. I slap users offline 000 says, you give me inspiration. Absolutely, bro. Yo, I appreciate you, homie. I appreciate you. And Crazy Mofo says, I want chicken. I want liver mix. Please deliver. So then we had one troll. Of course, you got to have at least one fucking troll per broadcast, or else it's not a podcast. So I appreciate you. I really do. Kyle, thanks for joining. All right, people. That's it. That's all. If you enjoyed this episode, just honestly tell somebody about it. That's like the best thing you can do to help me. All right. Tell somebody about it. We are Meathead on the Mic podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So Meathead. I know you know how to spell that. On the Mic and podcast. All right. So share it out to somebody. You know, they probably need to hear this message. Probably more than you did if you didn't need to hear this message. So that's it. That's all. We'll be back again. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. We out.